Very soon we're going to reach that time of the year that we call in the church Pentecost. That, of course, is a time when we recall the giving of the Holy Spirit to the very first disciples. When the Holy Spirit came upon them, he came in power. That power was symbolized by wind and fire. I want us to be thinking about the power of the Holy Spirit and the power of the Holy Spirit in us today. To begin with, I want to suggest that for a lot of us, one of the biggest obstacles that we face, faith-wise, is telling other people about Jesus, telling them about the faith that we've discovered. For many of us, we feel nervous about talking about faith because we wonder what people will think of us. Or we just feel we don't know what to say. There's an awkwardness. We feel ill-equipped. Now, there's nothing new in this. Jesus knew that that would be a problem even for the first disciples, let alone us. And let's face it, the first disciples had spent 3 years living with Jesus, learning from him, getting to know him. And it's much harder for us. But Jesus had an answer. This is what Luke tells us. On one occasion, while he was eating with them, he gave them this command: "Do not leave Jerusalem, but wait for the gift my Father promised, which you have heard me speak about. John baptized with water, but in a few days you will be baptized with the Holy Spirit." Now, as we reflect on this passage at the beginning of the book of Acts, I want to highlight 3 aspects. All of them are about the Holy Spirit. The first is this: the gift. It's the gift of the Holy Spirit. We may have all kinds of hang-ups about talking to others about Jesus. Jesus did have an answer, and it was a gift that he wanted all believers to receive. That gift was, and still is, the Holy Spirit. A gift promised by God the Father, a gift spoken about by Jesus himself. I love that idea that the Holy Spirit is a gift. Gifts are given for all kinds of reasons, but all gifts say that the recipient means something to the giver. We mean something to God. Jesus is interested in us. Jesus said, wait for this gift. He said, don't attempt anything until you have the gift and receive it. Now, a gift only truly becomes a gift when it's received. The gift of the Holy Spirit has been given, but have we received it? Truly received it? To receive a gift, you have to open the package. You have to get to know what's inside that package. I wonder if for some of us, we're still looking at the wrapping paper. The Holy Spirit is God's wonderful gift to you and me. Now, the second aspect that is brought out by Luke here is the baptism with the Holy Spirit. Luke tells us about this expectation that the disciples will be baptized with the Holy Spirit. Receiving a gift is one thing, but what's Luke trying to tell us here? To be baptized means to be dipped, plunged into, or immersed in something. And Luke is telling us that the disciples had to wait to be immersed in the Holy Spirit. Think of a sponge soaking up water. Luke says the disciples will soak up the Holy Spirit. It's a great image. It's very different from the idea that when we become a Christian, we get a little dose of Jesus, a little bit of God coming to live in us. Luke's image is one that speaks of the Holy Spirit literally soaking into every part of our being, soaking into our minds, our human spirits, soaking into our actions, behaviors, soaking into our speech, soaking into us and influencing the way we live. What would you rather have? A drop of the Holy Spirit landing on your head, or literally being soaked in the Holy Spirit from head to toe, your whole being? The latter is far more biblical. So ask to be baptized with the Holy Spirit, to be drenched in the Holy Spirit, soaked in the Holy Spirit, immersed in the Holy Spirit. The third aspect is the power of the Holy Spirit. It's in verse 8 that the real purpose of all this comes to light. Luke tells us that Jesus gave his disciples an explanation for why they should wait for the gift of the Holy Spirit, why they should be baptized with the Holy Spirit. But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. Jesus wants witnesses. Jesus wants witnesses in every age and in every place. The disciples were to be his witnesses. We are to be his witnesses, telling people about Jesus, because that's what witnesses do. They give a testimony. They talk about what they know, what their experience is. So we are to be Jesus's witnesses, witnesses telling people who he is, what he did for us on the cross, taking our sin, taking our punishment, and then through his resurrection, opening up the way for us to have a relationship with the God who is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And to do this effectively, to do this telling, we need the Holy Spirit to empower us, to equip us to speak, because otherwise we are hesitant and timid and reluctant. The Holy Spirit comes, first of all, with the power that enables us to speak when we don't feel capable. If the church in this valley is to grow, we need the power of the Holy Spirit, because without that power, we will lack the courage and the determination and the words to speak of Jesus. The church in this place needs the power of the Holy Spirit to enable it to fulfill its purpose. If you know Jesus, you can be a witness. But to be more than a silent witness, you need the power of the Holy Spirit to fire you up, to send you out, and to show you what to say. Let me finish with some words from the writer and Christian leader Francis Chan. He wrote this: "Yes, it is God who works in you. And yes, there is work for you to do. Yes, the Spirit empowers you to do the work. And yes, you do the work." Like Paul, who said that he did everything for the sake of the salvation of others. We too should live our lives as personal witnesses of Christ, of his resurrection, everything else that he did. We can only do that with the power of the Spirit working in us and through us. Do you want to be a Spirit-powered disciple in a Spirit-powered church? I hope so. Let's call on the Holy Spirit to be the fire burning in us now.